जाएंगे समझे वहां पर मंगा तो
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to start the one more topic that is related to Neet. The topics which we are going to start today is reproduction. Hmm. Today we are going to cover the reproduction chapters that is related to Neet exam. One of the most important chapter again. Yes. Let us write.
अच्छा है
First, let us write the topics of today which we are going to study. Okay. Reproduction. Reproduction is the class 12th chapter. That is, before this, we should know about the things related to reproduction. That is, what is reproduction? Reproduction is just simply can be termed as to reproduce. To reproduce means what? To produce similar things similar to the parents. Let assume any cell is present here. This cell is going to divide and produce similar types of daughter cells which looks like similar to parents. This cell is considered as parents and these both are considered as daughter cell. What we are looking here that only one cell is present at any time, but after some times when the reproduction times comes, this single parent cells is divided into two to produce two daughter cells. What does it mean, two daughter cells? Means daughter cells, why we are considering this daughter cells, why we cannot consider this son cell? Simply, daughter cell we are considering because daughters have the capacity to produce again in future, but the son does not have the capability to reproduce. Therefore, we are considering the term daughter cell because both the cells have the capability to reproduce again in future. Understood? So we cannot consider this as a son cell, just we have to consider this as a daughter cells. Reproduction means understood means what? Any single organisms have the capability to produce offsprings or progeny to their same kind of what the parents is, what the characters one parents having, same types of characters are going to produce into the going to obtain into the daughter cells of their own kind. Understood? Here different types of process are having in reproduction through which a single organisms can go are going to reproduce. What type of reproduction process, what type is there? Slowly we are going to understand and understood. Before we start to, first of all we should know what are the topics we are going to cover in today's lecture. We will try to cover, see here, reproduction is occurring in all type of organisms which is living. Simply, a smallest single prokaryotes also and all the types of eukaryotic organisms present in the universe or on the earth that have the capability to produce to their progeny of their own kind. Understood? Reproductions. If reproduction is not going to occur by any type of organisms, then their survival on Earth or on this universe is going to be completely extinct. Means their species is not going to present in futures if the reproduction process is not going to occur. Understood? This is the simple things. If any human beings is also stop, if any let assume that the populations living in the South Africa local areas, if they are not going to reproduce their own kind, not going to produce their progeny, then their species, their populations are going to decline in future after some times. Simply this is the fact which what we should know, what we have to make our concept. Understood? Reproduction are going to be in both plants and animals. Both plants and animals. In both the type of organisms, in both plants and animals, there are complexity of process through which it is going to occur to reproduce their progeny. From lower organism, from lower to higher plants, it is going to occur by different means of ways. By different means, number of ways are there to produce their progeny. What are the ways, what are the means which we are going to study in today's class? One by one, let us first try. Reproduction is going to occur through two process. That is, first is asexual reproduction, and second is sexual means of reproduction. Okay, these are the two types through which we are going to see the things. This asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction is going to happen in both plants and animals. One by one, we are going to study in both plants and animals. First, we are going to study in first plants. Reproduction in plants. Okay, understood? Before we start reproduction in plants, we should know the differentiation of plants, means classification of plants, in which way plants are classified. Means plants are classified in first Thallophyta, we should know this. Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperm, and Angiosperm. I hope you all have uh, knowledge about these topics, because already this is a chapter of plant physiology. You should studied previous lectures, I hope. Thallophyta is a very lower, it is going to come in very in least group, in सबसे नीचे वाले group में present रहेंगे Thallophyta. It is also termed as thallus. The simple body of plants is termed as thallus. Thallus is nothing, is not differentiated into leaves, stems, and roots. Simply, thallus is defined as it is a plant's body that is not differentiated into leaves, root, and stems. Bryophyta is also a plant's body only, but it is also does not differentiated into root, stem, and leaves. Pteridophyte is the first plants populations which are going to have a true leaves, stem, and leaves. After that, the slowly evolution is occurs, adaptations is occurs, and gymnosperms completely have true leaves, thick body of stem, branches, and all things. In 90% of gymnosperms does not have covered roots body, means seeds are going to be naked. Okay, we can easily see their seeds by our naked eyes completely. Okay, understood. Angiosperm is the completely all the species of flowering plants is going to comes under this angiosperms, and these angiosperms have the seeds which are closed by the ovary, by the ovary. Understood? These are the basics about these topics. Slowly, we are going to understand the reproductions occurring in all these. Understood? Hmm. Asexual reproduction. First, we are going to study the asexual reproduction in plants. Asexual reproduction is also classified into number of ways, such as fragmentation. First, we should know about what is asexual reproduction. Before we start their types of asexual reproduction, we should know about the what is asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction means it does not involve the fusion of two compatible gametes or sex cells. What does it mean? Through this, the process it is going to follow, we are going to get the result in the production of genetically identical progeny from a single organisms only involved in this asexual reproductions, and through which we are going to obtain the progeny, two, three, or multiple progenies which are completely similar and identical to their parents. Understood? There are no formation of gametes, there are no formation of fusion of gametes. So what we are understanding from this, only single parents are involved, only single parents are involved. Understood? First point about asexual reproduction, only single parents are involved. The progeny we are getting are identical genetically identical to their parents. This so this so this should also to be noted. Important point. Okay. A term is used during that is important, that is considered as clones. What is clones? Clones is nothing uh, morphologically and genetically identical individuals are called as clones, are termed as clones. Morphologically and genetically means what? Outer structure should also be same, and genetically means the genes, the characters that progeny is showing to related to another one is also completely similar to both of them. Understood? Genetically means the characters both of the both of the progeny are going to be so. Understood? These are the simple basic important point can be asked in MCQ. So you should know about this also. Clones, about clone is an important point, that's why I have written from red one, so that you can also note it down clearly and importantly. Different modes of, now we can proceed further for to study the different modes of sexual reproduction. Different modes of sexual reproduction. First one is, first we should know how many modes. First is fragmentation, second is budding, third is spore formation. These are the three important points. Okay, three important modes through which we are going to see the reproductions occurs in organisms in the lower plants group, which are going to be reproduced through these modes of asexual reproductions. What is fragmentation? One by one, we should clear the concept. See here, fragmentation. Fragmentation means, fragments means what? The term is only having the meaning. Fragmentation of fragments means simply the pieces. Fragments means pieces which we are going to look. Simply understood by this example, simply any organism is like this. Understood? And let assume this is Spirogyra. This is the structure of Spirogyra. This is Spirogyra. Mm, okay, understood? This type of structure it is having. This is a spirally chloroplast. This is Spirogyra, and when this Spirogyra is going to cut from any parts of it, it is going to distribute like this. This is one part, this is one part, this is one part, and this is one part. Understood? This is like this going to be occur. Like this. Understood? This is the structure. Fragments means pieces of the Spirogyra. These are having, what are the special functions these are having now? These are going to be converted into a single individuals. Completely they are going to be form their complete body parts after some times without any hesitation. Means completely it is going to convert into new individuals. New Spirogyra it is going to form. Means formation of their body parts are going to occur from these fragments only. Previously we are having only one parent's body. This parent's body is going to be changed into fragments, means four fragments. One parent body is going to be converted into four fragments after cutting or by any climatic conditions, maybe region, or we can also do by artificially. There are four fragments from one parent. Each fragments are going to be converted into new individuals. Means now we are going to form four Spirogyra as a result from one parents. If you are going to cut this, if you are going to have a fragment from one parents, 10 number of fragments, 10 of each 10 are going to convert into new individuals. This is the main process of fragmentation you should remember. Understood? This is a very good example. Spirogyra means we can clearly say that if we want to write the definition, multicellular organism can break into fragments due to one or the other reasons and these fragments grow into new individuals. Understood? This is the example. You can also write here as Spirogyra. Clear? Fragmentation is over. Now we can proceed to second process. Second mode of asexual reproduction, that is budding. Budding we can see easily in yeast. This is a structure of yeast. Understood? This is structure of yeast. Slowly in their body parts, development of small buds occurs. Slowly, development of small buds occurs, and after interval of time, after sometimes after some days, each birds are going to separate from their parents and grow into new individuals. Simply looks like fragments, but in fragmentations, what we have already observed that single parents are going to be cut through any regions by any regions. But in buddings, new development of birds are occurs on their parents' body parts, and multiple birds develops on their parents' body parts, and after some times these developed birds are going to be separate from their parents' body parts and developed into transformed into new individuals. And after that, these individuals are also going to reproduce by budding process. This happens in East. Most important examples. We can describe budding that it is the most common method of asexual reproduction in unicellular organism. We can write example also such as yeast. It takes place during favorable conditions by producing one or more outgrowths. What does it means outgrowth? Outgrowth means nothing. Small birds. These birds separating on separation develop into new birds. Simply, this is the whole concept about budding. Now we can proceed to further. Next one. Our next one is spore formation. Spore formation. Spore formation means any parent's body are going to form the formation of spores is going to take place. When we talk about chlamydomonas, na chlamydomonas structure is like that, like this structure these are having, and this type two fragments it is having, like this structure this is having. Okay, inside this spore formation is going to take place. Understood? This one, like this structure is going to form. This one, like this. And after certain period of time, after some time, when favorable conditions comes na, unfavorable condition when it comes, then it is present inside their body, inside their parents body only. And when the favorable conditions comes reach, then it bursts out and all the spores are comes out of that parent's body. Clear? We can simply understand that the terms we are going to zoospores is going to termed as, these spores are going to be termed as zoospores, which have the capability to grow individually and completely forms a new individual. Therefore, we can write here, in chlamydomonas, asexual reproduction occurs by Flagellated. Flagellated means what? You can clearly observe that these are the flagella. You can consider it flagella. Understood? You have to know what this flagellated terms means. And this flagella having this means it is going to help in the locomotion. Therefore, we can consider these spores as motile zoospores. Understood? Motile zoospores, we can after bursting when it comes out from their parent's body, it can grow into new individuals independently. Then right here, independently into new individuals. We can write here. Okay, understood? There are something, some more we can include here, that is fission. Okay, fission is of two types. One is binary fission and second is multiple fission. Binary means single parents are going to divide only in two daughter cells. Multiple fission means one parents are going to distributed into multiple number of daughter cells. Understood? Simply we can write the examples of binary fission, that is amoeba. You have a good level of knowledge about amoeba, which you are and we are also studying this from since 9-10 classes. The multiple examples are multiple fissions. If we are going to ask, then we can write a plasmodium. Understood? This is the multiple fission example and this is the binary fission example. You should know about this also. Hmm. We can proceed further from here. Asexual types. One type of modes of reproduction we are considering, such as vegetative reproduction, it is also comes under the asexual reproduction only, but we have to study this also. Vegetative reproduction is what? Vegetative means the part of the parent's body. All the types of how it is going to reproduce that. Parts of the body parts of the parents are going to be cut down, and we can use their body parts cut down body parts we are going to use as a seeds to develop into new individuals. Okay. Plants reproduce asexually through their vegetative parts. We can clearly say the new plants formed are genetically identical to their parents, completely identical honga, because it is comes from their parents' body parts. Simply, we can write here as a plants reproduce asexually through their vegetative part. Hence, the new plants formed, the formation of new plants are going to form is genetically identical to their parents. Okay, this is the definition of vegetative reproduction. You can remember. Especially this method is what we are observing. It especially these methods are going to are always utilized in the horticulture and agricultural field, because there is a large number of needs of seeds we can use as a body part, so that the farmers can get easily from there, from one body parts, from one parents, from one individual we can get number of seeds to sow. Understood? So in this there are two methods also we are including to understand the vegetative mode of reproduction. That is we are doing, if we are going to of course we are doing this artificially to look at this. Two methods we are looking here, that cutting and second is grafting. What does it mean, cutting and grafting? These both means are having artificial methods are used to propagate desired varieties. Both of these processes are helpful in this to get desired varieties, what a person wants. First we have to understand cutting. Cutting means simply you can understand from word only. Cutting means simply we cut the parts of the body parts. The small piece we can take from any vegetative part of a plant having one or more birds. You should see the parts we are cutting, that parts is having a birds or not, because birds is the only one that is going to propagate and that is going to divide and further develop into new individual, means new plants. So we should have that birds in that body parts which we have cut. Understood? So cutting, in cutting we can write as the small piece of any vegetative part of a plant having one or more buds is used for propagation. Understood? Example we can write as, in stem cutting we use roses to cultivate. Stem cutting में we are using rose, jasmine. These are the example of your NCERT book. You should remember. Understood? Second is grafting. Grafting means what? The cutted part, what we have cut, that small body parts, vegetative part, we are going to have that body parts and attached with another new individual's body parts. We are going to attach that cut body parts into another body parts that is already individual, that have different species. In that different species we are going to attach this one by to get our desired varieties. What we want something special. If the characters we have chosen that we want large size mango also, and color what we have specified that we want that color only, we want so much sweet in that, and large size also. One, there are two plants, okay, understood? First of example, and try to understand. One mango plant is there and here is another. Understood? The characters these are having, the characters, first one is having that, having a small size fruit, a small size fruit, but sweetness is very much sweet. This is what this plant is having, large size fruit but no taste. Understood? What we are going to do with this grafting, that we are going to attach this one into this one. One body parts, one we are going to cut from here and going to attach with This vegetative reproductive part we are going to attach with stems or branches with another one, and we through this only we can, that is not 100% sure, but we can get a large fruit with sweetness. If we are going to get through this grafting, then we are successfully grafted that one what successfully we get that desired varieties what we want, and the farmers will happy. That is the main concept this grafting wants to understand you. Simply we can write here parts of two plants are joined together to get the desired variety. Simply see here, the plants which are going to cut down now, this is termed as scion, and in which this cutted vegetative part is going to join, it is known as stalk. Understood? This is the two terms can be asked in the already. This question is came in the NEET exams. You should remember this also. The part from the plant from which the part is going to be cut down, that is termed as scion, and the part and the plant in which this cutted plant is going to be joined attached is termed as stalk. Okay, understood? Example in grafting we can write the example apple, mango, pears, etc. A number of plants are there. uh One more method is there to get the desired variety, that is termed tissue culture. Tissue culture is nothing, the cells we are going to have from any desired species or any desired organism, the cells of that organism we are going to obtain, and going to keep that cell in a particular medium for which that cell is accommodate. Okay, after putting that cell in that medium, the cell is going to propagate slowly, going to divide, going to have a cell division, and slowly after accumulation of cell it is going to form a tissue. After forming tissue, we are going to extract from that medium that tissue from that tissue developed from that cell. After that tissue we can propagate artificially to new individuals, which we want. Okay, this is a very much important culture. The scientists already discovered this, because through this any type of tissue, through from any type of organisms, we are going to just take that cell from that part of that body and going to propagate artificially in the laboratory, and after that tissue developed, tissue formed, this termed as tissue culture. The culture of tissue means the obtained, the development of tissue which we are doing in the laboratory through the process is called as tissue culture. Tissue culture understood now? In this only micropropagation is also considered here. Tissue culture, also termed as micropropagation, means simply from one tissue we are going to obtain number of plantlets, means number of organisms or plants. Understood? This is the end of asexual reproductions. Now we are going to further proceed to sexual reproduction in plants. Sexual reproduction, before we should know about sexual reproduction occurs in which two parents are involved in this process. That means one is male and one is female, and other is female. should be opposite gender. There are two parents are going to be involved into this. Okay, here are formation and fusion of gametes takes place in sexual reproduction. Okay, uh, after this we can proceed further. Before proceeding further, we should know something about this. See here, in plants, while growing from baby plants to the adult plants, these plants are having three stages in their life. First is juvenile period. First is what? Juvenile period. Third is reproductive period, and third is senescent or post reproductive period. This is also considered as pre reproductive period. Pre reproductive period. There are three stages in plants life. All the plants are going to face these three phases of their life. Understood? What does this mean? Juvenile period means before reproduction. Before reaching reproduction means till that time, till the in how we are going to make us understand that which time is going to consider as this is the reproductive part. Reproductive part is came into the these plants, these flower plants, these fruiting plants. How we are going to consider? How we are going to say? Simply, when the flower are going to blossom in the plants, when the flowers are going to see in the plants, that flowers started means reproductive period started. Reproductive period came and the end of juvenile period also occurs. Understood? Till the flowers started to blow. And when the flowers started to blow, and after that, when you are going to see that the leaves are going to be slowly, slowly गिरने लगेगा, लीफ जब गिरने लगेगा धीरे धीरे, तो वो पीरियड termed as senescent or post reproductive period. Slowly flowers are not going to blossom in that quantity what we have observed in the reproductive period. Then we can consider that that period is senescent or post reproductive period, means this plant is going to over now in few some days. This is the main points you should remember. Okay, understood? Before this start, we should remember after juvenile period is nothing from seed germination to the till the flowers started to blow. That period is going to be considered as juvenile period or pre-reproductive period. When we come in the reproductive period is the main important period in which sexual reproduction is going to occur, and we are going to look the sexual reproductions in the flowering. Understood? Before we that, we should remember the parts of the flowers. We should know the parts of the flowers and in which part is considered as male reproductive part, which part is considered as female reproductive part, how what is the need of male and reproductive part, how it is going to form the gametes, how it is going to fuse, how the process of reproduction is going to occur. All the things are going to understand in these topics, that is reproductive period. Understood? What is this reproductive period? First, you should know about the flowering plants. Let me make one flowering plant. This is the structure of flowers. This is the ovules in that ovary. Okay, this is the filaments and anthers. This is the filament and anther. First, what we should know the all the parts of the flowers. Then only we can proceed further. This is known as petals. Only petal, not petals. Petal. This is known as sepal. This is known as filament. This is known as anther. Let me make this filament and anther here. Anther, filament. Uh, what next? This is thalamus. This is ovule. This is ovary. This is style. And this is stigma. This we can write here petal. Understood? See here. This is the flower. All the parts of the flower already we have. We should have a lot of knowledge about this. See here. These three are termed as female reproductive part. Female reproductive part of the flower, and anther and filament are considered as male reproductive part of the flower. Means we can write here female reproductive part. In the female reproductive part, which are going to come stigma, style, and ovary. This is termed as pistil. This is also termed as if whorl of pistil are present. Whorl of pistil means number more than one pistil are present in a single flower. This is known as gynoecium. Gynoecium. If a whorl of pistil का मतलब in single flowers there are a lot of multiple pistils are present, then we are going to consider that. Understood? Gynoecium. Male reproductive part. Male reproductive part is that is filament and anther. This filament and anther are termed as stamen. Stamen is the male reproductive part. The whorl of stamen, if present in any flower, then it is termed as androecium. Androecium. Understood? Gynoecium and androecium, you should remember the term that male reproductive part is going to be considered as this. Understood? Now we are going to see how it is going to occur, that reproduction in that flowering plants. Here, the flower, this is having, this is anther. This anther have a distinct, different, very complex parts inside that, in which pollen grains are going to form. Pollen grains are the gametes of the male. Male gametes are going to consider as pollen grains. Understood? And inside the female ovary, the production of egg, that is termed as ovule. Ovule, inside that ovule only the formation of egg is going to be occur, and that egg is going to be considered as female reproductive, female gamete. Female gamete is egg that is produced inside the ovule, and ovule is present inside the ovary. You should remember this relation. And the Anther is going to produce pollen grains, and that pollen grains is the only male gametes that is going to be transferred from one flower to another, or going to be transferred in the same flower only. When these pollen grains and the egg cells are going to comes in contact with each other, there will be a fusion takes and fusion occurs, and after that fusion, the formation of zygote embryo is going to take place. That is the process, that is the main process you should remember, and we are going to study now. Before that process we start, first of all we should know about something about pollen grains, about that anther. First, we see the structure of anther. We try to understand the things from the figure only, because we are not having that much time to understand each and every that we did in the class. This is the figure. We can assume one figure is here, one is this, one is this, one is this, and one is this. Okay, this is the dissection. This is a section of the anther. Simply, we are going to have this one. We simply cut down this. We are going to have a four parts of one anther. Means one is here, and inside that backward only also two. Means it is going to form four tetrads like structure. Understood? An immature stage of anther is represented by a group of parenchymatous tissue surrounded by single layered epidermis. When the anther is not going to be matured, then a single layer is only present in that which is termed a parenchymatous cell. Parenchymatous tissue. Parenchymatous means only living tissue is present in that is surrounded covered by a epidermis. Anther is generally dithecous, having two lobes. Anther is having dithecous. Term is came here. Dithecous. Dithecous means having two lobes, and each lobes are having two lobes. Understood? Each monothecous anther contains two pollen sacs. One is this pollen sacs in here. This part you see. Two dithecous, monothecous. One each of monothecous are going to have a two pollen sacs. One, two, one, two. Okay, two lobes means what? One, two. Understood? These are the things you should remember in their mind. Therefore, it is termed as tetrasporangiate. इसलिए, so that we are termed as tetrasporangiate. We use a term tetrasporangiate. Tetrasporangiate, we are using the term here to understand the four parts of this. Hmm. What next? The heterogeneity arises when some hypodermal cells get transformed into archisporial cells. You not need to this. Simply you understand this. This is the cell. This is pollen sacs where the formation of pollen grains are going to occur. You should remember this. Where the pollen grains are going to occur in the pollen sacs. Pollen sacs are present in the monothecous. Monothecous is the part of the dithecous anther. I means anther. Inside that anther, we are studying all these things. After maturity, when the cell division occurs, when the formation of favorable conditions comes, all the times comes when the complete maturity reached by the flower, then the pollen grain formations are going to occur, and in that different types of processes occurs. What are the things in this part is having? This is known as connective tissue. Connective tissue. Outermost part is termed as epidermis. This is termed as middle layer. This is termed as, important point, this is termed as tapetum, which nourishes the immature pollen grains at the stage of sporangious tissue. Here only different types of sporangious tissues are present. Behind that, one layer is also present, that is termed endothecium. These are the parts of the anther, which you should remember any part is going to be asked in the NEET exams. So we have all the knowledge. Just we have to understand the point. What does it mean? Epidermis, endothelium, middle layer, and tapetum. Just what? See here. Epidermis is the outermost protective layer made up of tubular cells. Already we know. Just to give protections, this epidermis is present. Before this, beside this, endothelium is subepidermal layer made up of radially elongated cells with fibrous thickenings. Just beside the epidermis, endothelium layer are going to be present. Beside the endothelium, there is one more layer that is termed the middle layer. Middle layer is made up of thin-walled cells, which may disintegrate in mature anther. That after reaching to mature stage, this middle layer is going to be disintegrate if needed. Not in all, but if needed, there is needed to disintegrate. This is going to be disintegrate. Before this, beside this, one more layer is last, and one more layer is present. One of the most important layer, that is termed the tapetum, is the inner and most nutritive layer of anther wall. It immediately encloses the sporogenous tissue, that sporogenous tissue is only termed as microspore mother cell. Means microspore mother cell means that termed mother is related, that this microspore mother cell is only responsible for the formation and the production of pollen grains. Understood? The process through which the formation of pollen grains are going to occur is termed as microsporogenesis. Right here, microsporogenesis. Right here, definition. Each microspore mother cell divides meiotically to form tetrad of haploid microspores. Means this is only known as pollen grains. What does it mean? Meiotically haploid tetrad form tetrad of haploid microscope. What does it mean? See, there is a number of misunderstanding that meiotically means what? Meiotically means mitosis or meiosis. There are a number of students who get problems in this. Meiotically means known as meiosis. If there is mitotically is term is relate mitosis. You should also remember from here that it is going to form tetrad, and through the process of mitosis we will get only two individuals, daughter cells, not going to form four. And that is also similar, genetically similar, means if the parents is 2n, then both the progeny is also going to be 2n only. But here we are going to tetrad, and all are haploid, means n, and this is only going to have 2n diploid. Means this is the process meiosis is the process through which microspore mother cell is going to be divided to form tetrad, that is termed as haploid microspore, that is termed as pollen grains. What is this microspore? We should have a something knowledge about this microspore. First we should know the structure of microspore. See, typically pollen grain is a non-motile haploid. There is not differentiated into any body parts in that which are having flagella or cilia or nothing. No locomotory organs are present in the pollen grains. That's why it is not cannot have the capability to do the locomotion. It is present in one and only in one place, through which through different medium it is going to be transferred from one place to another. It is not going to transfer by its own. because pollen grains are not having any type of locomotory organs in that. Understood? uh See here, structure pollen grain is, you are going to look like that. The one and another is going to have, like this structure the pollen is going to have, and inside one nucleus is having, like this one nucleus is having. Okay, see here. Both these two layers are going to termed as sporoderm. Outer layer it is considered as exine, and inside layer it is termed as intine. See here, the outer layer exine is thick and made up of complex non-biodegradable substances called sporulin. It is having a chemicals that is termed as sporopollenin. It is like chemically very much stable that no unfavorable condition is going to destroy this sporulin, this exine one. So that inside that pollens are, which the number of pollen grains are going to form now, are completely healthy, safe, protected from this outer layer that is termed as exine, because of one chemicals it is having, that is sporopollenin, all over the surface. Understood? So how the things are going to comes inside which is required to that cell, means there is a, to understand this, look at this, there is a small holes in that surface through which required elements are going to transfer from there, but all the things are not going to be transferred. First, it is recognized by the cytoplasm or by the nucleus, all the things inside that present, and what the things are required from outside, that create a message like uh, communication. First, after that, it is going to be allowed by the that exine, so outer layer of surface. Understood? That is termed as germ pores. That is known as germ pores. Understood? These are meant for the growth of emerging pollen tube during germination of pollen grains. Through these germ pores only, it is going to germinate at the time of when it is going to meet with the egg cells. Okay. The intine, the intine inside layer is made up of from cellulose and pectin. You should remember this. Pectin and cellulose is the chemicals that is present in the intine, that is inner layer of the pollen grains. Understood? How this development of male gamete is going to be formed? See here, let us assume that, see, we are having this much and all are having, this is intine, this is exine. Okay, this is intine, this is exine. Understood? These are exines. These are the layers through which development of male gamete is going to. We are looking at development of male gamete. How male gamete is going to be form means pollen grains, how it is going to be formed. First is what? You are clearly know na. Inside blue one is intine, external is exine, and inside this one nucleus is present. After this, one development is started that is termed a vegetative cell. Generative and vegetative cell, there are two cells which are going to be developed into the pollen grains. These are the, after this, two male gametes form, and not possible to show here, so we can come here. These are the things. Understood? See here. Pollen, it is pollen grain. Inside one is intine. You are already know. Outer one is exine. I am just denoting intine from I and exine from E. Inside that is cytoplasm. Very well know. Each and every cell is having cytoplasm inside it. Okay. After in second what? This is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, this is E, or this is final A. This is the formation is going to occur. First, in second process, one development of, sorry, not vegetative, this is termed as generative. Generative means male gamete is going to develop into this only. This is generative cell, this is vegetative cell. This is vegetative cell. Vegetative and generative cell are the two cells are going to be developed into this, and after that generative nucleus is also going to be formed. Means first generative cells are going to be formed, then inside that generative nucleus is going to be formed. After this nuclear form now, this is divided by mitotically it is going to be divided and going to form two cells, and these two cells are what is going to be considered as male gamete. What we are going to consider this is termed as male gamete, and these male gametes are only are going to be transferred into the stigma through the germ pore, which is, this is known as pollen tube, which is developed from the germ pore. At the time of transferring, when these pollen grains are going to be, this matured pollen grain are going to be comes in contact with the stigma, then at the stigma this pollen tube is going to be formed. This pollen tube is going to reach to the ovule micropyle, and there it is going to transfer both of these male gametes. In further we are going to understand this process also. Okay. These are the formation of development of male gametes. You should know, you should already well understood, I hope. These are the structure of pollen grains. These are the cytoplasm you are going to observe here. The structure of microspore means that is termed as pollen grain. Development of microspore, how it is going to happen? Male gametophyte, two male gametophyte are going to be formed inside one pollen grains. Understood? Now, after that, male gametophyte you understood. Now you have to understand the female gametophyte. It will be very easy. It will become very easy if we are going to understand the male gamete formation and female gamete formation. You are knowing that two male gametes are formed after the, as a result of the male gametophyte. We are completely understand that these male gametes are going to attach, going to fuse with the egg cell. Then how egg cells are going to form? Egg cell is nothing just female gametophyte. How this female gametophyte is going to be formed? Then if we understand that, then it will be easy just to fuse both male and female gamete. The process becomes at the end that just we should know what are the result we are going to get after fusion. Then that is the last topic of today's lecture. Understood? In female gametophyte, what are the processes occurs, what are the things going to happen, we should remember. Before that, we should know the structure of ovule that is attached with the placenta. This is inside one ovule. First, we should know the things. What are the things it contains? This is chalaja part for one. This is mm, these are things you are going to observe in the female gametophyte. Understood? This term is going to termed as antipodal cells. This is secondary nucleus. This is termed as embryo sac. These are synergids. Three synergids you are going to observe in the female gametophyte. This is micropyle. To do something like this, we have like this structure we are going to have. After synergids, this is going to be considered as micropyle. Micropyle through which pollen tube are going to be connect, and transfer of male gametes are going to happen through this micropyle only. Understood? After synergids, the main part it is having now, this is going to have, this is outer integument. This is inner integument. These are the part of female gametophyte. This is termed as hilum. This is funicle. And last one through which it is attached, it is known as placenta. All the terms you should remember, because any part are going to be asked in the Neet exams. We have a we should remember all the parts of the ovule, which part is containing what or not. Okay, slowly we are going to understand part where the female gametophyte are going to be formed. Megasporogenesis is the process through which microsporogenesis is the process through which pollen grains are going to male gametophyte are going to be formed. Megasporogenesis is the process through which female gametophyte, that is egg, is going to be formed. The process, we can write here, process of formation of haploid megaspore from diploid megaspore mother cell, that is termed as MMC. Now we can understand the development of female gametophyte. Figure you have understood now. Here we can make concept on the development of female gametophyte. How the female gametophyte is going to be formed. See here. First, the megaspore mother cell, that is termed as MMC, is going to the process through meiosis to form linear tetrad of haploid cells, that is termed as megaspore. First, one cell is going to form 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, N, 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 N. This is 2N, this is going to form through the process of meiosis, it is going to form 4 tetrad that are haploid, all are haploid. Understood? After this, 3 of them are going to disintegrate during the process, and only one is going to further proceed to form female gametophyte. Only one will active at the last to form the female gametophyte. After that, all 3 are disintegrated during the process. Understood? Hmm. Uh, Upper 3 megaspores abort and lowest one towards center of nucellus remains functional. It acts as the first cell of female gametophyte. Generally, one megaspore towards center is functional megaspore. Only one, it is only considered as functional megaspore. Functional megaspore, it is going to be considered. Understood? This is going to be considered a functional megaspore. It is in fact the first cell of female gametophyte. It undergoes the successive free nuclear mitotic divisions. Thus total 8 nuclei are formed, 4 of which are located at each pole. One nucleus formed each pole migrates towards the center and are called polar nuclei. How we are going to understand this? See, first functional megaspore. This is functional megaspore. Understood? Let us consider as this is nucleus. This is not functional. This is MMC, megaspore mother cell. This is going to form four haploid megaspore. All are N, 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 N. Understood? This is going to form 3 of them are going to disintegrate. Only one is going to functional. Okay. After this started to show some changes in this. After mitosis, in this only mitosis process occurs. Constantly mitosis occurs, and from one there formation of 2 nuclei are present, form 1 and 2. Okay. After this is the from 2 4 nuclei are going to be formed. Again, in next stage, what is going to happen? It is going to have 2 of them are going to have, after this 8, from this 8 nuclei, 4 to 8 nuclei going to formed. After that only this type of a structure you are going to observe. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Upper one is antipodal cells, and side one is 2 synergids and 1 egg cells. Side one is lateral one is synergids, and inside in between that one was egg cell. Understood? This type of a structure you are going to form after process. After this, complete formation of going to disintegrate, this one form and this one occurs. 7 cell and 8 nuclei. See here. Now you can clearly understood that both of these are termed as polar nuclei. Understood? These are termed as antipodal cells. These are termed as these both are termed as synergids, and in between one was egg cell. Is egg cell. In between one is termed as egg cell, through which male gamete are going to fuse. Understood? So how many we are synergids having? Two, three antipodal, two polar nuclei, one egg cell. Understood? 3 to 5 to 6, 7 or 1, 8. Understood? This is the development of female gametophyte we are observing. This is embryo sac, complete embryo sac, in which complete arrangement of cells are happened. Understood? This polar nuclei after both the polar nuclei integrate now. This is termed as 2n, and all are n. This is also n. Okay, this is, you should remember the haploid or diploid gametes, how which cell is containing which type of gamete, diploid or haploid, you should remember. Understood? This is the formation of gametes. Simply I try to make you understand through the figure. You can easily understand the process, how it occurs to form a female gametophyte, how it occurs like this formation, how it occurs completely you can observe through this process. This is the formation of female gametophyte, that is number of cells, antipodal cells, synergids, egg cells, polar nuclei in an embryo sac. How it is going to arrange? If this condition occurs now, it is completely mature to have a male gametes that comes from the pollen grains through the various types of process that is termed as pollination. You should remember this. Okay. One more thing is that this synergids is containing synergids. This containing filiform apparatus which allow the male gametes by observe that how much male gametes should enter into this or not, because sometimes happens that another species of plants pollen grains are going to comes in contact with the stigma, then a stigma is um, not going to make pollen tubes to form in on that stigma. Understood? So it is, see here, this is the process. Pollination is going to happen after this. After the formation of female gametophyte, male gametophyte, you understood how male gametophyte are going to develop. After that male gametophyte, you understood about the female gametophyte, how this female gametophyte occurred. This female gametophyte, after complete developed, then you are going to see the next step, that is pollination going to occur through the different modes, that is through the insects, through the winds, through the waters. If water space is there, the water is the mode of water is the medium through which pollen grains are going to travel through the water and going to reach to the stigma of the female plants, female flowers, so that the formation of next fusion takes place. Pollination is a process through which, yeah, It is the process of transfer of pollen. It is a process of transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma. ओपन करो तो इसको.
इसी सब बटन का
Process of transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the flower. As we noted, pollen grains are non-motile. Okay? Non-motile means it does not have any locomotory organs, so that it cannot have the capability to locomote from one place to another. We can know that pollen grain does not have motility, so that by its own it cannot have the capability to transfer from from one flower to another flower to reach the stigma for the further process of. So we have to so the in nature these pollen grains have adapt one capability that with the help of natural things, with the help of winds, with the help of water, with the help of insects, these pollen grains are going to be transferred from anther to the stigma by means of various method. So it needs helps to transfer the transfer going to happen through the wind, water, insects, birds, bats, etc. These are the species through which these are the things wind, water, insect, birds, bats, etc. These are the things through which transfer of pollen grains are going to occur from one plant, from one flower to the another flower, from anther to the stigma. There are different variety, there are different species of plants which are adapt themselves to the according to the need. If there are something we can take the examples, there are some species of flowers which are only going to be pollinated through the wind only. The species which are observed in the water, there are many species of plants which can flower in the inside the plants, inside the water only, that there is nothing need of winds there to propagate, to transfer that pollen grains from that anther to the stigma, so that there is a water acts as a medium to transfer that pollen grains from the to reach the stigma, to reach the stigma of that flower, female part. Understood? See, types of pollination is also there to understand the pollination process. First is self pollination. What does it mean, self pollination? And second is cross pollination. One important thing is, I think we are missing that before we study the cross pollination, self pollination, we should know the how the male gametes are going to reach to the stigma. After reaching the stigma, what is going to happen? This you should know. Simply, we can understand that. Let assume this is a stigma. Okay, na? This is stigma. These are going to have small pollen grains already reached here by means of winds or anything. Understood? These are compatible means uh, what does it mean? This means that hmm, these are the pollen grains of the same species so that these stigma have already allowed them to develop the pollen tube inside that, and here inside that as it reaches down, these are having slowly it is going to come near the micropyle and going to enters into the micropyle. Inside this, developing this, while developing this, these are having two male gametes also which are going to transfer from pollen grains to that. Slowly it travels through this pollen tube only and going to enters into the micropyle where it is going to have two synergids and one X. Then these synergids are having filiform apparatus. Through this filiform apparatus, only when this filiform apparatus are going to allow this male gametes to enter into this, then it is going to enter and reach to the egg cells. We are having polar nuclei and antipodal cells. After this, what is going to happen? This male gamete is going to attach with egg cells, and after as the fusion takes place of male and female gamete going to happen means what? Formation of zygote is going to be formed. Formation of zygote means as a result of fertilization, always you are going to have a zygote is the first unicellular cell going to have after fertilization. This is female and this is male gametophyte. Then only you are going to have zygote, and after this zygote you are going to form the embryo, and here only this polar nuclei here देखो, what we should know, we are having two male gametophyte na. One male gametophyte is going to attach or going to fuse with the female gametophyte. What about others? Second one male gametophyte, where it is gone? It is going to attach with polar nuclei that is already having two gamete, and again one more gamete is going to attach, means this it is going to form 3n, means triploid. This is going to form triploid, and this triploid is going to further developed into endosperm. Understood? This is endosperm formation takes place, this is zygote formation takes place, and after that only zygote, from zygote to embryo to seeds, and from this embryo seed development, fruit development, and all the parts of the pre-reproductive parts are going to be formed. We are going to study this pre-reproductive part in next lecture. Today this is going to over here only types of pollination, and after pre-reproductive processes, what is going to occurs in the flower. In the We are not having much part left. One more thing is that you should remember this process, what is going to occurs in the stigma and what we have taught just now. This process is known as double fertilization, because there are two places where fertilization occurs. One is with polar nuclei and one is with egg cells. That's why it is going to be termed as double fertilization process. One is going to be formed triploid and one is going to be formed diploid, because zygote is always diploid and triploid means 3, and that is termed as endosperm. Understood? This is the process. You should remember what is endosperm, what are the things going to happen, what are things going to be differentiated, modified in the next reproductive part we are going to study in the next lecture. For today, this is the end of the lecture. Okay. Thank you, everyone.